A centuries-old map, it's parchment-worn, but its message unmistakable, defining the Philippine seas long before modern conflicts. Fast forward to today, and the South China Sea has become a powder keg of tensions, where competing claims are drawn not just with ink, but with warships. At the heart of this modern maritime standoff lies a new map, one that could change the course of history. The Philippines has unveiled its new standard map, a bold assertion of sovereignty backed not only by history, but also by international law. This map doesn't just redraw boundaries. It challenges the sweeping claims of a global superpower, forcing a closer look at what the law and justice truly demand. But how did we get here? What makes this map so significant? And why has it become a direct counterstrike to China's ambitions? To understand the battle unfolding in these contested waters, we must explore the legal weapons the Philippines has brought to the front line. Envision a lawful weapon that could change the South China Sea's power dynamics without firing a sight. That is exactly what the Maritime Zones Act stands for. The Philippines passed this groundbreaking law, which precisely defines the nation's continental shelf, exclusive economic zone, EEZ, and territorial waters. This is a statement of national identity and resistance in one of the most disputed places in the world, yet it goes beyond simple territorial disputes.
The first law is the Philippine Maritime Zones Act, which clearly defines the extent of our maritime entitlements and fully declares their metes and bounds in accordance with our Constitution and with the UNCLOS. The second law, the Philippine Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act, complements both our maritime and aerial policies by establishing a route system in our country's archipelagic waters and, as well, the airspace above it.
The Act's fundamental component is its conformity to the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, which serves as the international framework for marine rights. More than 160 nations, including China and the Philippines, have ratified UNCLOS, which gives coastal governments sovereign powers over their EEZ, which is 200 nautical miles offshore. These ideals are reflected in the Philippines' new legislation, which upholds international law while dismissing regional overrepresentation. This is where it becomes even more potent, though, because the act is supported by the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal decision and is not only theory. China's expansive 9-dash line was declared illegal under UNCLOS in this landmark ruling in favor of the Philippines. The Maritime Zones Act officially enshrines the ruling into national law, transforming international justice into enforceable domestic policy. By conforming to international marine law and upholding the tribunal's decision, the Philippines has drawn a line of accountability rather than just a map. And that line might be the most effective defensive yet, in an area where tensions are brewing perilously close to war. The Maritime Zones Act is a forceful declaration of authority over the Philippines' maritime territory, not merely a set of regulations. It precisely and clearly establishes the country's maritime borders in accordance with globally accepted norms, identifying crucial areas that support the nation's legal position in the South China Sea. Similar to land territory, the Act clearly defines internal waters as those bounded by the archipelago over which the Philippines has complete sovereignty. The territorial sea, which extends 12 nautical miles from the baseline, is where the Philippines has complete control over environmental preservation, security, and resources. To strengthen national control, no foreign vessel may approach without express permission. The contiguous zone, which is 24 nautical miles from the baseline, is located beyond the territorial sea. Although less tightly regulated, this area enables the Philippines to implement immigration, taxation, customs, and pollution laws, a vital line of defense against unwanted incursions. Over a broad 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, the act upholds the sovereign rights of the Philippines. From fisheries to underwater minerals, the country may discover and utilize all maritime resources here. This EEZ highlights the Philippines' UNCLOS guaranteed legal claim to its natural resources by encompassing important regions of the South China Sea. The act makes a bold move by restating the Philippines' sovereign claims to disputed territories, such as portions of the Spratly Islands and Scarborough Shoal. The 2016 arbitral tribunal decision that invalidated China's broad claims within the 9-dash line and supported the Philippines' position under international law is reinforced by this proclamation, which is more than just symbolic. Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the president, has made no secret of his dedication to international law. He has emphasized the value of agreeing with the tribunal's decision and UNCLOS, emphasizing peaceful diplomacy. He has positioned the act as a key component of the Philippines' defense against maritime expansion. With the Maritime Zones Act, the Philippines has sent a powerful message. Sovereignty is not negotiable, and the rule of law will prevail, even in the face of rising tensions.
We must be able to harness mineral and energy resources in our seabed. By defining and asserting our maritime zones, we project to the international community that we are staunchly committed to nurturing, cultivating, and protecting our maritime domain.
The Philippine Maritime Zones Act aligns the country's domestic laws with the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, and the 2016 Arbitral Tribunal ruling. It defines the Philippines' maritime zones, including internal waters, archipelagic waters, territorial sea, contiguous zone, exclusive economic zone, EEZ, and continental shelf, securing the country's rights over 200 nautical miles of EEZ, including Scarborough Shoal. At the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. reaffirmed the Philippines' legal basis for its maritime boundaries, referencing the 1935 Constitution, the Treaty of Paris, and the Treaty of Washington. He emphasized the importance of UNCLOS and the 2016 Arbitral Award, asserting that the Philippines' claims are grounded in international law, not imagination. The Philippine Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act was also mentioned, establishing sea lanes and air routes for foreign vessels while safeguarding national security and environmental protection. These laws aim to protect Filipino fishers' livelihoods, harness resources, and project the Philippines' commitment to maritime stewardship. Senator Francis Tolentino highlighted that the Maritime Zones Act enforces the 2016 ruling, which invalidated China's sweeping claims in the South China Sea. The act strengthens the Philippines' sovereignty and outlines penalties for violations, while supporting the nation's moral and legal stance against China's 9-dash line claims. The 1734 Murillo Velarde map was instrumental in the Philippines' 2016 legal victory against China, showing Scarborough Shoal, then labeled Panacot Shoal, as part of Philippine territory since Spanish colonial times. The map, along with over 170 others, was presented as historical evidence refuting China's territorial claims. The tribunal ultimately ruled against China's 9-dash line, affirming the Philippines' maritime rights. The 1734 Murillo Velarde map, often referred to as the mother of all Philippine maps, stands as a crucial historical artifact that has played a pivotal role in affirming the Philippines' maritime claims. Created by Spanish Jesuit cartographer Pedro Murillo Velarde, this map offers a detailed depiction of the Philippine archipelago during Spanish colonial rule, including Scarborough Shoal, known then as Panacot Shoal. The map is widely recognized for its historical value in establishing the Philippines' territorial boundaries dating back to 1734. It clearly marks Scarborough Shoal as part of Philippine territory, providing centuries-old evidence that the feature has long been considered within the country's jurisdiction. The map also includes geographical features, settlements, and indigenous groups, underscoring the archipelago's rich history and territorial extent during the colonial period. The 1734 Murillo Velarde map was a key piece of evidence in the Philippines' successful case against China at the Permanent Court of Arbitration, PCA, in 2016. The tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines, invalidating China's expansive 9-line claims in the South China Sea. The map's depiction of Scarborough Shoal as Philippine territory was instrumental in reinforcing the historical basis of the Philippines' maritime entitlements under UNCLOS, United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. China's 9-line claim, which asserts vast control over the South China Sea, lacks historical and legal foundation. The Murillo Velarde map, along with over 170 other historical maps, was used to demonstrate that Scarborough Shoal and other contested features were historically part of Philippine territory, refuting China's assertion of historical rights over the area. In addition to the Murillo Velarde map, several historical treaties bolster the Philippines' territorial claims. Treaty of Paris. This treaty, which ended the Spanish-American War, defined the territorial boundaries of the Philippines, including the islands and maritime features within. Treaty of Washington, 1900, clarified territorial boundaries and transferred additional islands from Spain to the United States, further solidifying the Philippines' sovereignty. The 1734 Murillo Velarde map remains a powerful symbol of historical continuity and legal affirmation of the Philippines' maritime rights. Its inclusion in international legal proceedings underscores the importance of historical cartography in resolving modern territorial disputes. The South China Sea dispute revolves around China's claim of nearly the entire sea based on historical grounds dating back to maps from the Ming Dynasty. However, these claims have been questioned on several fronts, including the lack of evidence to support China's sustained control over the region and potential biases in archaeological findings sponsored by China. The Philippines' legal victories, supported by historical evidence, such as the 1734 Velarde map, continue to challenge China's claims, reaffirming the Philippines' legal and moral stance in asserting its rights over the West Philippine Sea. The South China Sea stands as one of the world's most vital maritime routes, accounting for an astounding $5.3 trillion in annual trade. With more than 30% of global maritime traffic passing through its waters, it serves as the backbone for international commerce, linking major economies such as China, Japan, South Korea, and the United States. The strategic significance of the sea cannot be overstated, as it facilitates the movement of goods worth billions every day, underpinning the global supply chain. However, this economic lifeline is increasingly threatened by ongoing territorial disputes, particularly China's expansive claims, which challenge not only regional stability, but also the security of global trade flows. In response to these growing challenges, Philippine legislation has played a pivotal role in reinforcing the country's sovereignty over its maritime territories, including the West Philippine Sea. Through measures such as the Philippine Maritime Zones Act, the country has fortified its legal claim to the vast exclusive economic zone, EEZ, and its surrounding waters, ensuring it has the legal tools to defend its rights over crucial natural resources. This legislative framework underscores the Philippines' commitment to international law and provides a clear basis for rejecting China's arbitrary claims, which have consistently sought to encroach upon Philippine waters and resources. At the heart of these legal protections is a strong stance against the 9-line that China uses to justify its territorial expansion. The Philippines has actively sought to preserve its sovereignty, not just through diplomacy, but also by reinforcing its maritime defenses and ensuring access to rich fishing grounds and potential undersea mineral resources. The 2016 International Tribunal ruling, which favored the Philippines, has served as a powerful tool in this ongoing struggle, challenging China's aggressive posturing and bolstering the country's efforts to protect its maritime interests. In this context, Philippine legislation stands as a critical barrier to the unchecked expansion of China's claims, aiming to safeguard both national interests and the stability of this indispensable global trade corridor. The Maritime Zones Act and Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act play pivotal roles in reinforcing the Philippines' sovereignty over its extensive maritime domain. These legal frameworks, designed to define the nation's territorial waters, aim to strengthen control over the archipelago's critical maritime zones, securing vital resources, and protecting the nation's biodiversity. The legislation enhances the Philippines' position in the South China Sea, directly countering China's expansive claims and asserting its rights in these strategically important waters. One of the primary goals of these acts is to prevent infringements by foreign states, particularly China, whose aggressive actions in the region have raised international concern. The Philippines' legal approach emphasizes deterrence by ensuring the enforcement of laws that safeguard the nation's territorial integrity. By setting clear boundaries and guidelines for foreign maritime operations, the acts offer a powerful mechanism for defending the nation's rights and interests. The consequences of violating these laws are severe, with penalties aimed at discouraging illegal activities, such as fishing violations, unauthorized exploration, and territorial encroachments. Manila has shown unwavering resolve in upholding these regulations, sending a strong message that it is committed to defending its maritime domain against external threats. These legal instruments underscore the Philippines' dedication to preserving its sovereignty while contributing to regional stability and security. The Philippines' updated legal framework, comprising the Maritime Zones Act and the Archipelagic Sea Lanes Act, solidifies its position as a staunch defender of its sovereignty and maritime rights in the South China Sea. By clearly delineating its territorial waters, the country ensures the protection of its resources, biodiversity, and strategic interests, while reinforcing its claim to the contested waters based on historical evidence and international law. These legal instruments are not only vital for safeguarding the Philippines' national interests, but also for upholding the broader principles of international maritime order. The Philippines' claims, supported by a long history of territorial use and endorsed by international law, particularly the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, provide a strong legal foundation in the face of external challenges. In this context, the Philippines emerges as a key defender of global maritime stability, committed to preserving the rights of coastal states and deterring unlawful encroachments. As the nation continues to uphold its legal rights, its leadership in the defense of maritime sovereignty serves as a beacon for international cooperation and the rule of law in global waters. Thank you for tuning into our channel. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of global issues.